Okay, and finally we talk about the works cited or reference page. Once you've got all of your sources together on your wherever you're keeping it, on your file on your desktop or wherever you're keeping it, and once you've made sure you've used every source that's on there, then you need to create a works cited page in MLA formatting or a references page in APA. Again, it doesn't matter to me which kind of formatting you use, but be sure you get it right. So I'm going to talk about MLA, but this is pretty similar to APA. Everything should be in alphabetical order. Be sure that you change the font to match the font of your paper. Nothing looks more amateurish than, a paper in one font face and then the works cited page stuck on at the end in a totally other kind of font. It doesn't make an organic whole out of your piece. Okay, so it's called Works Cited and the title is centered, or it's called References in APA and the title is centered. Everything is in alphabetical order, everything is double spaced, and everything has that hanging indent, which means the first line sticks out to the left. Left is this way. And every other line is indented one tab. That's real easy to do. Select the whole thing. Select all. Hit Control 2. That will double space everything. And hit Control T. That will give everything that hanging indent. Control 2, Control T. That's all it takes. Those two keystrokes. And then everything in alphabetical order, everything in the same font, face, and size, and you'll be just fine. Again, the purpose for all of this, remember this class has the word argumentation in the title. And we're using literature to craft arguments. So the reason for all these sources is that one should make as broad and as solid a foundation for one's belief system as one possibly can. Again, as I said before, watch what the politicians do and then don't do that. And if you don't care, that's fine too. No one says you have to care about this particular exercise, but it seems to me that you ought to care about when you say something that you believe to be true. You ought to care about, we all ought to care about having a solid basis upon which to stand when we speak our truth. And all we're doing in this class is practicing. So if you care, that's great. If you don't care, pretend like you care, because then you'll know how to do it when you get to something that you do care about. There's no quicker way to kill an argument than not know how to argue. And remember, you don't see anything in your culture that reinforces this skill. In fact, everything in your culture works against this skill of careful critical thought. So we're practicing in this class the skills of creating support for our belief systems, and at some point that'll become important. It may not be important in this class or with this paper, and I totally get that. But if you don't practice here, where else are you going to get this stuff? Where else will you learn how to argue like a rational adult if we don't practice it? So honestly, I meant what I said. It's great if you care, but if you don't care, that's fine too. But pretend that you care. There's nothing, again, that will kill an argument or to kill a paper than for a student who doesn't care to let your lack of interest in your topic, let that show in the writing. That kills it. So don't do that. If you care, great. If you don't, pretend you care. Things go much better. Okay, so give me a works cited. You know how to do this. You talked all about that in English 1A, so I don't think I need to go over that for you. But maybe I'll put up a discussion this week as well, so we can just work on some of that stuff. Again, really the only thing that's different from what you may have learned in freshman composition is the MLA has changed some of their details of the way they want things formatted. Some of it makes sense to me, some of it doesn't, but I don't get to make the rules. So the only thing that's time consuming is you're probably going to have to look up how the new MLA formatting styles work, and you're going to have to conform your work to the new styles, and it's, you know, it's tedious, but it's not a huge deal, and I've tried to help you through it with the other 3 lectures. Okay, so that's all. I'll see you in the forums. Bye.